Hello and welcome to this week's Craft and Chat. I'm Amanda Fowler of Inspiring Inking and it's Tuesday the 25th of November. If you're joining me live, could you do me a quick sound and light check, pretty please? And if you're watching the replay, thanks for taking the time out of your day to stop by. I am just going to do a little bit of clicking to check I'm live where I should be, because technology and me are not friends again at the moment. Not friends at all. My label printer for all of my postage labels is not behaving, and my laptop is not behaving either. So it's a bit of a disaster. Let me just, okay. So we are live there in YouTube and we're live in Facebook. Hooray! I love it when a plan comes together. Hooray, 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 hooray. Oh dear. So please let me know how you are and where you're watching from. It's nice and blue skies here today. I haven't actually put my nose out of the front door though, so I don't know what the weather's doing, as in whether it's cold or not. But the wind is blowing from the wrong direction. I know, it sounds really weird, doesn't it? So we're on the south coast of the UK, and the wind almost always comes from the southwest. So when I'm sat on my sofa drinking my cup of coffee in the morning, I'm watching the clouds and they're going from right to left or east to west. No, west to east. And the winds are southwesterly. But when we have a cold snap, they often come from the east and the north. And they're currently coming from the north. So I'm expecting that it's going to get cold again. So who knows? That's Amanda's weather watching thing. But yeah, it's really weird. I get up in the morning and go, oh, the wind's coming from the wrong way. It means it's going to get cold. Lots of people here. Every now and again, StreamYard, which is the service that I use to record and transmit to you all in the lovely internet, it sometimes seems to collect all the comments and then kind of just plonk them all in all at once. So Crafty Liz is here saying everything is okay on YouTube. Thank you. She's saying hello to everyone, as is Scylla. Yeah, so Scylla's just up the road from me, and lovely sunshine again. Margaret, I saw that you've sorted your stamps out, so that's awesome. Margaret saying hello to all the crafters. Oh, Liz is saying it's bright but cold in Dalbeattie, southwest Scotland. One of my favourite places in the world. Not that particular town, but Scotland in general. Warmer than yesterday, says Scylla. Elizabeth's here as well. So yeah. Right. So I'm just reassembling my trimmer blade. So I feel I need to mention Stampin' Up's Black Friday sale. To be fair, I haven't had many messages about it, but I am aware that there are people who are disappointed that they couldn't get the things that they wanted. The sale started at 11 o'clock last night, and currently half of the products that were on sale are sold out. And that includes all of the cardstock that was on sale, the trimmer blades, and lots of the blends. But blends are £6.15 for a set of 2. So if you've ever wanted to give blends a go and put a few in your basket. That's a huge discount. And they are absolutely, for me, hands down, the best colouring tools. Basically because I look a little bit like an artist when I'm colouring in because I don't get lines. So they're well worth getting. And my favourite glue, oh, that one, is still available. So if you've been thinking, should I give that glue a go that Amanda's always raving about? The answer is yes. And you can get that, add that to your basket as well. And, as well as all of the things that are, on sale, there's the clearance rack. There are lots and lots of kits available as well. And I just wanted to put in a plug for kits because I know a lot of people are doing their festive shopping at the moment. And our kits, because they're all inclusive, they are a brilliant gift because it doesn't matter how creative the person is that you're giving it to, because there are instructions and everything that they need is included. So, kits are great for all ages. I mean, I would probably be looking at 6, 8 plus if you're looking at gifting to children. But, any age, any interest in crafting and creativity, and there's so many different sorts. I mean, there's scrapbooking. There's like a Christmas kit for scrapbooking. There's wreath kits. There are just card kits. It's amazing. So if you're thinking about getting an order in, and if you're on my mailing list, my birthday special of free postage is still running. If you're not on my birthday list and you would like to shop with me, send me an email and say, Amanda, what's this about shipping? It only runs till the end of November, so you've only got a few days left. Do consider that. And of course, if you're needing some bargains, because we're always needing bargains, check out the last chance section of the website as well. And my top tip with that last chance list is to sort it prices low to high. I do this on every website. Whenever I'm looking for something, I always sort it either high to low, depends what I'm looking for, but normally low to high. And you can see incredible bargains to be had. So let me, whilst I'm chatting to you, I'm just going to click and go to last chance. And so it automatically sorts by newest. So it's showing you the things that have arrived most recently. So low profile dots, £3.50. Two-tone sparkle gems, £5.40. Mixed media 12 by 12 patterned paper. So that's 12 sheets of 12 by 12 patterned paper. It's £5.87. Seriously, there are so many papers under £10. So, have a rummage. have a rummage, grab yourself a cuppa. And instead of reading a book, just have a flick through the website and see what amazing things you can find. Okay, so who else has arrived? Mum. Hello. Pauline's here. Donna's here. Oz is in the house. She's saying she hasn't had a chance to check out the Black Friday sale yet, but see if anything's left tomorrow. Yeah. I don't think there will be. So obviously, if you're new here, I'm in the UK, and when I'm talking about stock levels, I'm talking about Europe. So Stampin' Up have 3 warehouses. So they have one in the USA and one in Australia and one in Germany. So that's North America, South Pacific and Europe. But basically, like I said, half of our stock has gone. And actually, Donna, I was talking to a couple of my Australian friends a little while ago, and they were saying an awful lot of your stock's gone too. So I think it's a good sale because people have obviously been purchasing, but there won't be very much left. Darn. So Margaret couldn't get the blends that she wanted either. Anne, how are you? Lovely. I have noticed you haven't been here. I hope you're well. And she's on the East Coast, so it's not windy at all there. That's good, isn't it? It's good because normally you guys get it first. It's coming from the north. Excuse me. Oh dear. So as far as the world of Stampin' Up is concerned, obviously we've discussed the Black Friday sale. There is a date for last orders for Christmas, which is the 9th of December. Now, Stampin' Up usually give us a date for us to get our orders in. Although they're not guaranteeing that it will arrive before Christmas, they are hopeful. Now, that date is a week earlier than it has been in previous years. Normally, it's about the 15th, 16th. So they're obviously really trying to make sure that the orders arrive. So please don't leave your shopping till the last minute. So that's good. Oh, so Anne's all good. She's just been busy. That's fine. It's funny, isn't it? Because when I'm here every week, obviously the same names pop up and you know, we're all friends here. But equally, I know there are lots of people who don't comment, either because they can't comment, because they can't usually, should I say, start again, Amanda. Usually it's because they can't comment because YouTube, you have to have an account and that gets all a bit technical. So, and not everybody does Facebook. So it's not always so easy. So I am just going to say, if you are watching and you watch every week and you don't comment, please know that I am truly grateful that you come and hang out with us, even if you can't comment. And do you know what? If you want to send me an email and say, Amanda, I do watch, but I can't comment, that'd be really awesome, because then in my head, I'll know that you're here. And I know that's kind of weird, but it's just nice to know who's hanging out with us. Okay, so what else do I have to tell you? Not a lot. Brian and I are looking for a new car for me, new to us car. And it seems that actually what I want is a unicorn. I've got about as much chance of getting the car that I want as I have getting a unicorn. So that's not going well. But we did get tile trim at the weekend for the downstairs loo. Yay! I just sometimes, you're just trying to get a thing or figure something out, and I just feel like we're little hamsters in a wheel going around, and not getting anywhere. So, but the ceiling's painted in the downstairs loo. The skirting board's off. Like I said, we've got tile trim, 2 tile trims. We've already got the tiles. But we've got to wait for one to come into stock. But I can't help in there. I mean, I bring Brian Cup's tea and pass him things and run out to the garage and get stuff. But it's so tiny. Only one person can be in there at a time. So I'll just have to go and do some knitting or read my book. Okay, so tile trim. Elizabeth, I know. I don't know when my life became obsessed with tile trim. Clearly it did. So yeah. Oh dear. Right. So every week, pretty much, I say, can you send me an email if there's something that you want to know how to do, or you want to see, or you want me to show you, or a technique or a fun folder or whatever. And to be fair, I don't get many requests, which is why I always ask. So if you're thinking, oh, Amanda must be inundated with requests, that's not right. So I need you to all email me. So, because do you know what I would love? I would love like a 6-month plan of the things I'm going to do every week, because that would make my little personality who likes to be organized really happy. But I had an email from Jo last week, and Jo said that what she wanted to know was about making cards using masking. And she said she was sure that she'd seen something before that I've done, and she wondered if I could show some masking. So that's what I'm going to do today. And then I had a message from Tina, who said, is there a quick way of making stamped cards? She's thinking about Christmas. And she just wanted to be able to do things quite quickly. And did I have any suggestions? So I'm actually kind of combine the two. So we are going to, I'm going to show you some masking first, and then show you a different option that you can do something else. Okay, so let me turn this camera around. I'm really sorry, but my cough is really back. I am hoping that we're going to get to the bottom of it very soon, but we will see. But I've got my water, so I can keep drinking, and that will help. So let's go there. Ooh, no, wrong camera. That one. Yay. Okay. Right. Move my trimmer out of the way. Need some grid paper. Some Post-it notes. Okay. So when you are masking, there are lots and lots and lots of different ways you can do masking. So I always try and make sure that whatever I show you is the easiest way for you to do whatever it is. But generally, whatever's easiest is what you've got on hand. So you may well have Post-it notes or sticky notes where you've got a repositionable section. They're my preferred way of using masking. Stampin' Up! Do masking paper, which you can use. And you will also see that you can do things like this, and you can mask using paper as well. I don't tend to do it this way, basically because the paper moves. But I prefer to use Post-it notes. And then I have these super duper Post-it notes. They're called Super Sticky. They are ridiculously expensive. I mean, I bought a great big stack of them several years ago, so I haven't had to buy any. But when I looked the other day, like everything's going up in price, isn't it? These were ridiculously priced. So I do have another option for you, which is my favorite glue. Okay, so what you can do, this glue is it has two ways of using it. So you can use it to stick things together, which is obviously what we do as a general rule, but you can also use it as a repositionable glue. So let me just grab some scissors. So I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to squiggle some glue on here. Can you see that? Yeah. Now I'm going to put this to one side over on my little radiator that's keeping me warm. And hopefully by the end of this craft and chat, this will be dry and I'll be able to show you how you can use this. And whilst I'm just talking about this glue, this end comes off as well. You can use this broad tip end. Please never take both ends off at once because you'll get into a big mess because it'll squeeze out everywhere. And the other really important thing about this is it's a latex-based glue. So if you have a latex allergy or if you're crafting with people with a latex allergy, please use a different glue. Okay, so what have we got? We are doing masking first. So I'm just going to move all of that out of the way. I've got all the things in my basket for the second card and I've piled them on top of the first card that I'm doing. Okay, so what I've got is 3 shades of green and early espresso. So I've got garden green, old olive, and mossy meadow. And the stamp set that I'm using is this one, which is Delicate Pines. Now, those of you that are doing craft together with me tonight, this is the stamp set that we're using tonight as well. So when I was designing for this craft and chat, this was on my desk. So I decided that we would use this today. But this time I'm using the pine pieces. So we've got a happy birthday stamp, which is from Simply Said. And then I've got a pine bough. I've got some little fronds. I've got pine cones and more fronds. So let's just move those there. And then get my ruler. Now, if you're masking, you want straight lines. And most of the time, if you've hung around with me long enough, you'll know straight is overrated and it doesn't bother me generally. if things are a bit skew with. But when you're masking, you do need to make sure that things are straight. So I've used this grid paper. If you don't have grid paper like this, just use a lined paper or something like that, just so that you can position it. So I've lined it up at the top. And what I'm actually going to do is work out where I want the top of my stamping to go. And I'm just using my ruler and then putting my post-it notes. I'm going to hold the ruler down, put my post-it note on that line. I'm just going to move that out of the way. There we go. And then I'm going to put it about there. So again, pop that down and down again. There we go. Okay. So this, the post-it notes have two purposes, really. Firstly, they're masking the cardstock either side, but secondly, they're also holding this down. So it doesn't, it's not going to wobble about. Now, I'm just going to put my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. Really important because these are photopolymer stamps. And I'm going to start out with the pine bow. And I'm stamping it a couple of times. So I want like first generation of image and then some lighter images as well. And infilling. So now I'm going to put 3 little pine cones down. And I'm going to do this as like a winter birthday card as opposed to a Christmas card. Actually, we might go 5. Oh. There we go. Odd numbers always. Then I'm going to add in a few bits of garden green. And one of the things to pay close attention to, and I'm going to have to bring this up to show you, is the edge, top and bottom. Sometimes this is thick, or it depends on the thickness of the post-it note. And sometimes you get like a little void. You can see just there, a little void where the stamp hasn't quite stamped. So you can either press harder, but then sometimes what that does is it ends up, you get ink where you don't want it, or just go back over that area, which is what I'm doing now, with a smaller stamp, and it will just add in a little bit of definition along that line. So let's see. So what I'm doing now is repeat stamping not re-inking, and it just fills in the gaps. So there we go. So that is the image finished. And then what you do is you just peel that off. Oop. Do-do-do. And there you have it. So you've got basically something that looks 3D and looks like you've put patterned paper on there, or you know, an additional strip, but actually you haven't. What you've done is just stamped it. And then I'm just going to pop a little happy birthday down there. Let's get that out of the way. And managed to get a tiny smudge of old olive ink on there. Don't tell anyone. Okay. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. Indeed, it is surprising what makes us happy, Margaret. Indeed. What would really make me happy is if I could find a car. But I'm going to have to be patient. That's what's going to happen. There we go. How cool is that? So with this type of masking, what I've got is different sizes of stamps. So I've got bigger stamps and smaller stamps, and you want to fill it in quite a lot. If you leave white gaps, it doesn't look as impressive as if you fill in the gaps. Okay, so that's card number 1. I just need to quickly stamp the inside. So then the card's finished. And then I'll pack those bits away and move on to the next card. Now you can reuse your post-it notes. Just be aware that if you change colours, so if you're doing one set of masking and then you change colours, sometimes the colours kind of transfer. So I would advise against using it with different colours. But if you're doing multiple cards of the same thing, then absolutely I would do that. Okay, I'm cleaning as I'm going because I've got team talk at 4 o'clock and then I've got craft together at 7 o'clock tonight. And if I don't tidy my desk as I go, come 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. So we are being tidy. Okay, so we are now going to go with some of my favorite colors because, you know, we can. Coastal Cabana, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. And this time I'm using the This time I've realised I've got some duplicate post-it notes here. This time I'm using the snowflakes from this set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a look. So I'm going landscape with this card. And I'm going to set it up in exactly the same way. So I'm going to line it up like so. And then this is slightly more tricky because it's wider. And obviously you can get post-it notes that are longer. So that is a good thing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let's pop that down there. And taking the time at this point to get it right will make a difference. There we go. Carrie says she's looking forward to tonight. Good. I am too. We're making 5 cards tonight. And they are fabby. Okay, so snowflakes. Ooh, I need my mat. Ooh, here we go. There we go. So I've got some really big stamps. And normally I would just use the smaller stamps. But because of the way these snowflakes are basically pine branches, they actually work really well, even the bigger ones. So it's worth sort of using them and over stamping. So I'm going to fill up the gaps. Then I'm going to go in with my little snowflake and add in lots more. Odd numbers always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm going to clean this stamp and go in with some more of the Coastal Cabana and clean it again and add in some more pool party snowflakes as well. And it's all that's going to do is add in or fill in the gap. So can you see? It's much more filled in, and I'm actually going to add in 2 more of the pretty peacock ones. So then let's just, oh, it does not want to peel off. So then I'm going to peel it off. And again, the thing that it always amazes me is you get this beautiful clean line. And I know that's what it's supposed to do, but it just makes me happy to see it. How cool is that? So I'm actually going to turn it around and then use this stamp. And I love this stamp. This is from the Delicate Pines. It's Warmest Winter Wishes. Because we don't always want to send Christmas greetings to people. And I know it's strange, but some people have their birthdays in the wintertime. My daughter, case in point, her birthday's on Thursday. So I'm just going to add in some little sparkles. Ooh. Well, that was a bit weird. I lifted up a sparkle and it didn't have any glue. Oh, try that. That one. That one. Oh, 5. There we go. Look. Kerry's asking what's happening tonight. So Kerry, it's craft together, and you will have had an email from me because you're one of my direct team. And if you gather some cardstock and some paper, patterned paper, there's cutting lists and stuff. So check your emails. And there's a YouTube link for tonight. But I'm sorry, you're off sick. Oh, I didn't read all of that. I just read the bit. What's happening tonight? So I'm sorry. Sorry that you're not well. I hope it doesn't mean that you can't craft though. Look, how cool is that? So look. So there's the 2 that are masking. So, as I said, I was sort of going to combine the 2 things. So I was going to show you the masking, which I think I've done now. But then there is another way that you can get this effect without doing the masking, but doing it quite quickly. So let me get some paper. Yeah, we really don't want that one. I've rested this. Can you see? I've rested it, and it's lent on my chamois, and it's now wet, which is absolutely rubbish and no use to man nor beast. Okay. Even if you can't craft, Kerry, just come and hang out. Okay, so let me cut this down, actually. So I am going to cut this down so that it is the width of a card and 2 inches tall, but in multiples. So this is actually, for this particular card size, this is 8 inches by 5.5. And you can do this with an A4 piece of paper or 8.5 by 11, whatever you have. But I find it's easier to work with like half a sheet, which is basically what I've got. And then you can get out the really big guns. So you can get out your huge stamps as well as your smaller stamps. So we are going to fill this whole piece with stamping. And we're going to put in big stamps and little stamps. Ooh. That's me not paying attention. I'm just, tapping on any random ink pads. That's not going to do them any good, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Darn. 11. Okay, let's add in some little ones. 7. And then I'm going to clean that one and just add a few more of those. And the wonderful thing about these stamps is they actually layer one on top of the other. So just in case you haven't seen it, let me just show you. So you've got this bigger one. You've then got this one, which actually is like a duplicate of that inner one. And then you've got this one, which goes in the gap. Like so. Honestly, it's one of my favourite snowflake stamp sets ever. So anyway, we've got all of this. And I can see a few little gaps that need a bit more. We may yet go back over this. But now, this is how we can make it into really fast cards. Because now we're going to trim this into 2-inch strips. So on this one, obviously this is masked. But now we've got a 2-inch strip that can just go on the top there like that. So this actually, that's interesting. It's only 1.25 inches. So let me trim one of these down so it can be exactly the same. And then I'll use the extra piece on the inside. And it's a better comparison. So obviously now you've got these little strips. So what you could do is you could mount it on maybe a piece of Pretty Peacock or Pool Party. But again, if you want this effect, this kind of flat effect, you can just stick it down. And it's another quick way of making lots of Christmas cards, which was the request that I had. And obviously what I've done is I've used that is straight. I've used stamps. But there's no reason why you can't do this with patterned paper. So there you go. And obviously with this one, you can see I've used smaller stamps. With this one, I've used bigger ones. And we've got all of these additional pieces as well. So let me just pop that on there. I suppose I ought to put some bling on there as well, didn't I, really? Got bling on the other one. Let's just put three bits on there. So this one, so if I hold the two of them up, you will be able to see the difference in that this is like stepped, whereas this is completely flat. So this is like oh, how did they do that? And this is obviously clearly a strip. So that's the two masked cards. Let me just move this stuff out of the way. That's the two masked cards. And then this one is where we've stamped lots of different pieces. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight to masking. And my little bit of paper that had glue on it has dried, and it's repositionable. So you can use this as a mask. So you can put it down and then take it off, and it doesn't tear it. It's just really good. It's one of the awesome things about this glue, that you can use it in this way. What I would say is, if you're going to use it for masking purposes, don't put it on cardstock. Put it on a thinner paper, because you don't want to get that step in between. Okay, so I think that is everything from me today. I will see lots of you tonight for Craft Together, and if you are interested in joining us next month, so Craft Together in December is always an on-demand Craft Together. So I record the class and send out the kits and then release the video. It just means then that in the busy month that is December, when you can carve out a few minutes for yourself, then you can actually do your crafting then. I will be sharing some sneak peeks tonight of the papers and things that we're going to be using in the Craft Togethers for January and February, and I will show you some of the new papers and things here next week or the week after. We've got a long way to go till January, and you know, there's a lot to do in between times, but I will be sharing the information about the classes then. If you are interested in booking any of my classes, you can come along to my classes from anywhere in the world. I can't send out kits of products to anywhere outside of the UK. The postage and stamping up rules mean that I can't do that, but I can send you a list of the things that you need to gather, and you can craft with your own materials, and there's options for that on all of my online classes. So I will look forward to seeing you next week. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Goodbye.